What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going. And make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go to our website, you can follow the podcast there. You'll see all of our social media at the top of the website. You can follow us at Opposite Pod on all of the different social media sites, or you can just search Opposites Attract Podcast, and that'll pull it up too. When you're on our website, you can also send us a message by clicking the Contact Us. You can click the Support the Show tab, and that'll show you how you can support us by shopping through Amazon. And we'll tell you more about the website a little bit later. And
Yes.
we're back.
Yes, we are. We just got back from a very spontaneous spare moment, right? Vacation.
Yeah.
The kids are currently on spring break. And we have some awesome friends that just so happen to live next door to us.
Yeah.
So we were chatting with them. And they invited us out to their Airbnb, and it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's out there, Pine Top. By the way, we should probably, they rent it out. So if you guys...
Yeah, it's out in the mountains in Arizona. It's like, when you think of Arizona, a lot of times, if you're not from here, I guess you think of like the desert, right? And like Phoenix, Tucson, which is a lot of it is a desert. But out there, it's like the mountains, the pine trees, and yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Yes, very quiet, very peaceful.
We saw a horse. We saw just like a white wild horse, just like in the backyard.
Buttermilk.
Butternut.
That's
buttered stuff.
Paige named him Butter.
No, well, buttermilk. Yeah, buttermilk. You were right.
Buttermilk. But if you guys are interested in a great Airbnb out in the beautiful Pine Top, Arizona,
send us a message.
Yes, and we will get you in contact with them. But so we spent a lot of time with them.
And real quick before you move on, it was great because it's also big enough for like 2 or 3 families. So if you want to get together like with family to go there,
right?
The place is like, it's an awesome spot. But yeah, hit us up.
Yes. And so we had some, time together. We had some time with them. I, had some time with Adriana. She had her own room. So I would go up there and just, talk to her and spend some quality time with her. And then after all that, you and Joey went out a few times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We went out for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it was nice.
Yeah. It's been busy since I gotten back from India. It's been pretty busy. Even though we weren't really that busy, but I'm saying busy because just time, I'm still kind of trying to digest a lot. And so it's just, I feel like I'm everywhere in my head, Yeah. But we came home last night.
Yeah.
After that trip.
Yeah. And we kind of hung out as a family. We got to play Nintendo. That's the first time that you've really like played games. Like that's not you got this thing about games. Like you could see it whenever games come up. You're like, nah, that's not my thing.
It's because I never played them as a child. I don't know. There's just something about them. I don't really care for them because I've never played them.
Yeah.
But
we played yesterday.
Yeah. We couldn't afford all those nice whatever was out back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have friends that had a Nintendo?
No. We didn't do that. We played like girls. We played dolls. We played Barbies. We played house.
I guess the boys had the Nintendo.
And I don't remember any of my friends having any game stations.
Well, yeah, I guess for girls growing up, it would have been different, right? Was the Nintendo more for boys?
That's kind of how I saw it. Like I remember my mom getting us a Sega and it had both of our names on it. And I was like,
I don't want that shit. You've always been a hater.
Pretty much.
I'm just messing with you.
But last night it was really cool.
Since the beginning.
Because I've been just wanting to spend quiet time with Joey. And it was great because on the way home, now I'm jumping back, we stopped and we saw a few waterfalls.
Man.
We saw, it was like a mini, really Grand Canyon, right?
Yeah, it really was.
And I just found out that I love playing in the dirt, like with sand, like just feeling it and smelling it and just all of that. So him and I had a very special bond. We had a very special moment together. And he loves to collect crystals and minerals like rocks. And so him and I, on the way home, were looking for rocks. And it was just an incredible moment that him and I shared. What were you going to say?
Nothing.
Then
I was just thinking something, but I don't want to interrupt you.
And I don't know, I've just been having this want to have, because it's very, Audrey and I connect very easily on, many, just on a deep level. And with Joey, I don't think I've taken that time to really connect with him. And so I took advantage of that. This weekend and just, yesterday, or not this week, and
the drive home.
On the drive home. And we did have a really deep connection. And even afterwards, I've been feeling like my sister a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to Audrey about her a lot. Like Audrey knows, she knows. And Joey, I have not really got into a deep conversation with him about her. And I wanted him to know who she was and who we were together. And so I gathered, the pictures that I have of her and the cards and the letter from, her school. She graduated on the dean's list at San Diego University. And so I was just sharing all of that with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, she was really smart, huh, Mom? And I'm like, yes, she was going to school to be a teacher. She was actually a substitute teacher. And, just questions started to come up, and I started answering questions for him and I read him the letter that I wrote to her in 2022 when I was going through my coaching with Steve Bacon. And I basically just laid it all out there for her, just everything that I was feeling from her death and the grieving process and, being upset with her. And he read the letter and, of course I can't, I ended up crying and tearing up, and he can feel me. Like he just hugged me and he's like, it's okay, Mom.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday was it was special that way. Like you were thinking a lot about your sister, because even on the drive home, there was that song that you played that reminds you of your sister, So it was.
There's stuff that I still
need
coming
to
up, process.
It was coming up yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a really, I got to post it later, but I got a really awesome picture of you and Joey just sitting. Like, it's just at the edge of this drop off. And then when you look out, it's like you were saying, it's like the Grand Canyon. It's just incredible. The mountains and the hills, and like as far as your eyes can see is just like one mountain after another mountain after another one.
Yeah. It's breathtaking. It takes your breath away.
Yeah. We got a picture on the way up there of like, and I actually have a picture of it, of like a perfect rainbow.
Yes.
Out there around the same area that we were at, where I took the picture of you and Joey. It's just a picture of you guys from behind, like talking and holding hands. But we got a picture of a rainbow there. That was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. There were a lot of special moments, especially on the drive up there and then the drive back.
it's those nature moments,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
What was your favorite moment?
That, like you said, the drive up there, and it was fun, hanging out with the neighbors too, just spending time with them.
Yeah.
It's just great company.
I captured a lot of moments. So I was making breakfast. Miguel and I, we were making breakfast for our friends, and then you decided to go and help Jeff clean the barbecue grill.
Yeah, because we're
And
going
I
to
was
use
there
that.
making my potatoes. And I turned around and I saw both of you. It was so cute. Cleaning the barbecue grill together. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's such a cool moment.
Yeah.
And then as I'm looking around the room, I see Riley, who is their son, and he's sitting on the sofa and he's playing a game. And then I look over and there is Adriana, like laying on the rocker.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, all these beautiful moments together. And then I saw Adriana and Joey hugging. I don't know where he came down from, and I captured that moment as well.
Yeah.
And I think that it's very important. And I'm able to do this without interference with technology, right? Or being, I got to get this, and not being in the moment.
Yeah.
But I caught the moment because I was in the moment. And then I thought to myself, I have to capture this because I want them to remember this moment. And there's times where we get so busy that we forget. And that's why I take so many pictures. And I haven't even posted many of the pictures that I took for that reason. But I did take the picture, and I'll probably be posting them sometime today.
Yeah.
But when you look back at my Facebook, like there are a lot of pictures that I have taken when we were on vacation. But I was also in the moment when I took the picture. You understand?
Yeah.
Like I was present. I was in the moment. I was
There's like
thinking
a
about
balance.
nothing but being in that moment, but also capturing the moment because I want the kids to remember.
Right.
Like I want them to, and we do that, right? Think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
All the pictures I've taken since they were, oh my goodness,
Or kind of like
infants,
the weekend before
newborns.
at the hieroglyph trail. It's kind of a similar thing.
Yes.
You know?
And when you go back on Facebook, the thing great about Facebook is they capture, like they'll bring it back 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
6 years ago. And it takes you back to those moments. I appreciate that about Facebook.
Yeah. That's good.
But yeah, so yeah, this past few weeks were, really good.
Yeah. You've been getting some nature in. Seems like you've needed some nature since you've been back from India.
Yeah. I crave it. I just want it. Like I want to be around, even if it's just, I regret pulling our real grass out, by the way. Because we have now artificial grass in the front and the back.
Yeah.
And there's times where I just want to plant my feet in the grass. And it's different because it's artificial grass. But we do have a park across the street.
This is also the desert.
Right.
Like this part of Arizona is the desert. You don't see natural patches of grasses very many places.
Right. Yeah. No, true.
But yeah, we got the park across the street. But yeah, it's been good. And so that, like you said, the kids are done with their spring break, right? And you've been back from India now for a few weeks. So it's kind of now getting back into the, regular life again now that the kids are off or going back to school tomorrow. And you've been saying like before you left to India, you were doing boxing like all the time, right? And you were, going to the gym and doing the boxing. And you said kind of now that you've come back that you don't know if you feel like boxing so much anymore.
I'm just so, I don't know. I'm just mellow. It's more like I feel that I would rather do like Pilates or yoga, but I'm still going to go. I'm going to go tomorrow and see, how I feel.
Yeah.
But I just do feel just more calm, like just
flowy,
I guess. But maybe even with the music, like all that, just on the way up, normally like I would like to listen to music, and on the way up to our trip, I just wanted to, like, my music now is nature. Like I want to hear the birds. I want to hear the wind. I want to feel the wind. I want to just be connected to that. And you would put the music on and I would like lower it and then I would turn it off. And I'm like, I don't know. It brings me peace.
Yeah. That's funny.
And then all you did was you started putting your earbuds so you can listen to whatever it was that you wanted to listen to. But I was more, with the windows down and just connected and listening and just being in that moment without any disruptions.
I was in that moment too. I was just listening to music at the same time. And that was pretty fun. Yeah.
The kids and I, on the way up there, we were playing, I just came up with this, like, spare of the moment game, like, kind of like, would you rather?
Yeah.
Like, or I would tell them 2 words and without thinking. I didn't want them to think. I wanted them to tell me right there and then what came to mind. Right? So is it sunshine or snow? And immediately get them. I don't want them to think about it. I want them to tell me what first comes to mind, because that's the true answer. And that's with everything in life. Like even us, like when we're thinking of something, and it's like you're questioning it. It's like, what was the first thought that came to your mind? So, I just told them like blue, red, and they both said blue, just kind of like throwing stuff out there, just making up games on the way up there. And and that was fun.
That's good. So earlier today, Joey was picking some stuff up, and I noticed something that he did, and I just wanted to point it out to him. But like how we've talked about how sometimes like kids, they just get frustrated. You start doing something, they get pissed off, and we all know like there's times when you get too frustrated that it doesn't help the situation,
Right.
And it also keeps you from seeing solutions to whatever you're trying to fix. And he had picked up some stuff that we had downstairs here while we were gone, and he was trying to stuff it all into this bag. And I told him to take it out and to flip it around so that it'd be easier to get to or whatever. So he takes all the stuff back out of this bag, and when he's going to stuff it back in, he grabs like a big pile of it and tries to stuff it in the bag, and it's just going everywhere. And I'm sitting like right here at the computer doing the taxes, and I'm kind of like see him out of the corner of my eye, and I can see that he's like, for a split second, he was getting frustrated. And then he took the stuff and put it down next to the bag, and then he said, I think I got too much, and that's why it's not fitting or something like that.
Was he telling you that, or was he telling himself that?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I think that's why it's not fitting. I was getting too much. So then he grabbed a little bit and put it in the bag, and then grabbed a little more and put it in the bag. And now he's able to start stacking it up. And then I didn't say anything to him, but he just kind of like filled it all up and grabbed the bag, and he was getting ready to walk away and put it away. And I just told him, I was like, hey, Joe, I was like, I saw that you were about to get frustrated. And he thought like I was going to tell him something, about his anger or whatever. And he was like, yeah, but, and I was like, no, I saw that you were going to get frustrated, but then you stopped. and then you figured it out real quick. And then I just kind of explained that whole situation to him. I was like, sometimes, if I was like, I saw that you stopped and then you kind of thought about it and then you figured it out and you did it a different way. Mm-hmm. I was like, what do you think would have happened if you would have got more angry? He's like, it wouldn't fit. I was like, yeah, it wouldn't fit, but then what would probably happen? It's like, maybe you get more angry, maybe you rip the bag, Mm-hmm. Do you think you would figure it out? He's like, no, because you're so angry. I was like, but instead you stopped and you looked at what you were doing and you left the anger out of it and just figured it out. I was like, sometimes, that's the best thing that you can do,
I was just talking about you to a friend. And also I was talking to, I think I had talked about it on the previous podcast, to Ben Buckley, when I was sharing with him how much I missed you when I was in India, and about your entire just transition, like who you are today compared to the man that I married. And that was once you, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I believe you and I were talking, and you said the wake-up call for you was when you seen it in Joey. Is that correct? Like you started to witness Joey?
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment or that day when it was like, oh shit?
Not specifically. But it just kind of goes back, You just kind of go back through the years, and I mean, every kid's got a temper, but you kind of see it. I don't know. Like, I don't think that it's I don't know. Maybe kids are more calm in other countries or other places, other cultures or whatever. And kids are more, because you see kids like they have when they're young, boys maybe have like a little temper or anger that you have to kind of mature out of, I guess. Right? And it takes, different times. Maybe that's men.
Oh, there's women like that too. Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I can only speak for me when I was going through my coaching, and that's when I disconnected from everything and was spending time with myself and with you guys. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. I just thought of something that had to do with what we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead and finish. It's about the question that I asked.
Well, like when I saw it in him, but kind of like I've been telling you recently that there's some things that repeat themselves in history, and then there's certain things that are an accumulation of history. And this is one of those things. Like if you look at the generations before us, they weren't doing coaching the way we're doing it in this generation today. They weren't doing self-help the way we're doing it today. They weren't trying to discover themselves, and they were working. And, like it wasn't like that in the 50s.
It's true. Yes.
Yeah,
there's a shift happening.
Like with men, like for me today, like, yeah, there's still stuff that I'm learning. You start realizing that there's certain emotions that that work better in certain situations, and other ones that you maybe need to keep in check or whatever. It's just different. It's changed over the years. And now I'm figuring it out at 40, but we're helping Joey learn it, which is kind of makes you wonder, like if Joey has kids, Audrey has kids, like the kids that are growing up today with parents that are more, like what that's going to be like.
And it could be that it was always there. It just wasn't introduced to us until later on.
Yeah.
Because I have friends that their parents talk to them about self-help, and their parents before them talked to them about self-help. You understand?
Okay. And how are they any different, or how, like,
Well,
do you see any?
with their kid, like I see that, I'm like, wow. I'm like, but that's just not the way that's not, it wasn't our journey.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But self-help was a thing, not as much as it is today, but it was a thing back then and even generations back. But I see what you're saying. When you get to a certain point, it was just like work, like just to survive. So
Yeah.
you really didn't have that much time to
Yeah.
work on yourself because you were so busy trying to pay the bills. But there were families who were well off,
Yeah.
who were teaching their kids.
I think there's a lot more people today that'll sit down with their kid or their son and be like, "Hey, buddy, let's talk about some of your emotions."
Yeah.
I don't think that was happening back in the day as much. It may have happened, but it was probably more rare.
Yeah.
Probably happens a lot more today. You know?
And I wonder if that's just the circle we're around, and that's why we feel it happens more today.
Mm,
You understand?
yeah. Yeah.
Because in different areas, it's
that's
not
true.
happening.
Yeah.
But we're just in a different situation today
Yeah.
because of the decisions that we
I
made.
think it's both. It has both influence.
Yeah. So as I stated, like when I hired my coach and I started to self-reflect on a deeper level, I realized as a mom some of the things I was doing because of the lack of belief in myself and I saw how I was influencing like our children. You know, and a lot of it came to when I was writing my letter to Adriana during my coaching, you know, and this was something that I felt that I needed to do to apologize to her when I realized that I was parenting her from fear of turning out to be like me.
Mm-hmm. In what way?
Because I saw that she was having a lot of similar challenges that I was having growing up, like not having the confidence to speak up, to raise my hand, to ask questions in school. You know, not having the confidence and believing in self.
Yeah.
And there were times where her and I, you know, we would be doing her, her homework together. And because I was so fearful of her turning out to be like me, because I didn't feel that I was smart enough. I didn't feel that I was capable enough. And I wanted her to be all that and more.
Right.
So I focused so much on education, like so much on her not watching certain things or, you know, like just like I think I put on there, you know, she was reading or she was watching Your Baby Can Read before she could even talk.
Right.
And every program she watched had to be an educational program. And I was so focused that she was put in 4 different charter schools before she was how old?
Yeah. Now
this stems from within myself because I know what you're going to say.
right.
But only I know my heart and only I know what I was.
Yes. But all these things come from something negative, right? But all these things are positive.
They are, but she could also feel
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
the doubt or the fear, like that I was pressuring her, like I was pressuring her when I didn't have to.
Yeah. It's
Instead of encouraging her, like this was when she was younger. Now it's totally different. It's like we woke up just in time. You understand? Like we woke up just in time.
yeah.
Because they were so little when you and I were making some pretty big moves within ourselves, you know, moving from that side of town to this side of town.
Yeah.
So that we could put them in, you know, better schools and have them in a different kind of environment.
Yeah.
We recognize that kids should have a voice at a young age.
Well, you're saying like kind of like hammering them with school. Like you need to get straight A's and we're going to get you this and you're going to be like on a strict schedule. And
yes,
I don't know if we were like, I think we were always pretty open to stuff. Like if I think eventually we would have found out the balance, you know, to have happy kids because that.
Well, we did find the balance. That's what I'm telling you. We
Yeah.
woke up.
But I don't think we were like headed in that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm sharing is that when I was sitting with her, the thoughts that were in my head was,
yeah.
God, I don't want her to turn out like me. I want her to be, and we do that, right? Like I want them to be better. We want our kids to be better than us, but it was coming from a fear that was within. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Versus supporting, loving, and just she is who she is. I am here as a mom to love her and to show her what she's capable of, or to help her to recognize how capable she is.
Yeah. I just find it's tough because I can see what you're saying. Like how the emotion of it is negative and the reason that you're doing these things is not a good reason for doing them.
All you have to do is ask her how she felt when we were doing homework with her.
Yeah, no, I know. But the reason for, I mean, but they're good things. But yeah, like you said, there was the, when it's too much, when we were doing homework with them and getting upset and all that because of that.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like kids are way more connected than, they're pure, they're so innocent, they're very sensitive to our energy as well. You know, so even though what I was doing, some would look at it as positive, because yes, we all want our kids to be better than us. We all want our kids to do, you know, their best or our best. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But within, it was not, while I was teaching her, it wasn't coming from light. It was coming from
your own insecurity.
Yes.
But it was also out of protection for her. You know? Yeah. I think it's like for some people, maybe like when there's a parent that didn't feel like they fulfilled what they needed to fulfill in a sport or something like that. And then they put their kid in that sport and now they want their kid to do the shit that they couldn't do.
Yeah, you're living through them.
But what about a parent that got picked on when they were younger and they put their kid in jiu-jitsu and kickboxing because they don't want their kid to get picked on? Yeah, they might be scared and maybe it comes from it's not a good place because they're coming from fear. But shit, it put their kid in kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and now they can defend themselves, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But if they were a fighter that never made it and now they want their kid to be a fighter and their kid doesn't really want that, you know, that's different.
Yeah.
But it's weird.
Yeah. Being a parent is not for the faint. No, like there's so many great things that come from parenting. Like there's so many, especially for adults, you recognize your shortcomings. Like you recognize who you're being.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you're aware.
Yeah.
Because you can recognize you and your kids.
If you're paying attention, yeah.
Right.
Because, and that's the other thing, kind of like what you were just talking about. The whole, like, teaching Audrey. The fact that you're sitting down and doing it with her, it just that in itself is because you care. Because it's coming from that place. Like, if it was, like I said before, trying to get her to accomplish something that you couldn't do, that's different. Because now it's almost like a bullying type of thing. Like you're forcing them to do something, but you're doing it because you care. Now, whether you do it in the most effective way, I mean, yeah, that could have issues, but still it came from a positive place,
Yeah.
even if it was with some fear.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the biggest ones is freaking teaching kids school shit, because that's not something that we're taught how to do, is how to teach kids academic stuff, school stuff, So every freaking parent struggles with that unless you study how to be a teacher.
Yeah. Because that was a big struggle of ours with both.
Yeah.
Audrey and Joey.
Yeah, and it made so.
And you know what? I think that was probably what helped you to see how you were being.
Yeah.
Right? At that moment with him.
Yeah.
Like being impatient, being temperamental.
Well,
I believe that's when I believe we had a conversation. And I think that's when you realized.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of learning when it came to learning these kids.
Right? And learning about ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, and I also remember, like, I had moments like that with my dad, and I didn't want that for them, and it was happening again, and it was like, I don't know, it's fucking weird, because right now, like, I'm thinking, I had those moments with them. I wonder if my dad had those moments with his dad. I wonder if he ever thought, like, this isn't fucking good.
Because he never expressed them, right? He never expressed it to you.
And maybe that's an accumulation of fucking men working shit out over the years, over history. First you're a fucking caveman, and now you work on your feelings. It changes over it. That's history.
Yeah. Because I remember...
Why are you looking at me like that?
There was a point where you
apologized
to Joey for... for just losing your patience with him.
Yeah.
And that's is something, that when he's sitting with his children, he's going to, he may be in that situation, but it won't be as hard for him to apologize because of how we are with them.
Or maybe it'll make it easier for him to apologize in other situations, because maybe, I don't remember. It's hard for me to remember, but maybe I didn't apologize to my friends when I was a kid, or to anybody else, or like, I don't remember really. But who knows? Like, he's like, oh shit, dad apologized to me. Maybe he messes up with one of his friends and we talk about it. That's more shit that wasn't talked about.
Yeah. I remember just with him having a moment like that with him. And yeah, I had raised my voice at him and he brought it to my attention. He's like, Mom, you yelling at me is not going to make it better. And I told him, you're right. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I apologize. Yeah. And I asked him, I said, do you feel that it's fair that I'm sitting here trying to help you and you're treating me the way you're treating me? Do you think that that's fair? No. It's getting them to also recognize that as well.
Yeah.
you know, and I think that once you've mastered it, right? Like mastered.
You die. Once you mastered it,
being
you die.
conscious, right? Like just
That's when
being
it's over.
aware of your body. And because when you start to get upset, your body, your heart starts to pound faster, right?
Yeah.
You start feeling this heat that's generating, you know, and you recognize where you're going and you're able to calm yourself down in that moment and stay conscious, right?
Yeah.
Of what's going on, what's happening within, and being able to release that and let it go and still stay calm and be like, you know, why don't we step away for a moment or whatever it is that you need to do, and not allow yourself to become unconscious or, you know, where you're flipping out and now you're saying things and acting out in a way that you normally wouldn't because you allowed yourself.
Kind of like Joey putting those pads in the bag.
Yeah. When you said that, that's exactly like what I was thinking. Like that is so good that he was able to remain calm and figure out a way. Yeah. Because a lot of times when we lose it, forget it, everything just gets off balance and we are everywhere. And in the middle, you know, even in relationships, right? Yeah. You and I back in the day.
Yes. Yep. Go ahead.
When we would get into disagreements, you know, I've always tried to remain calm, and I never wanted to ever get into arguments in front of the kids, right? Or disagreements.
Yeah.
Like I would always, we need to take this to the room. Because I never wanted them to experience what I experienced as a child.
Yeah.
And just being aware and being calm. But I remember I could remember twice where I didn't take it out. Like I didn't respond to you in a certain manner, but I went outside and just freaking lost it, left it out. I remember hitting a brick wall, and you don't even know about this.
Yeah.
But I went in the backyard and in the house, and I've never done that.
Yeah.
You know, but there's so many times where we get in these tough situations and we're not thinking, and we say things to hurt the other person. And once you say something, there's no taking it back. You know, that's why you hear, you know, there's a saying, you know, the tongue can, you know, like you, with what you say, your words, you can give life or you can take life.
No. You know what? We got to do some ads, but there's something that I wanted to bring up that I'll tell you guys about in a second. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. When you guys go there, like I said before, you guys can follow the podcast. All of our social media is there. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You can find the podcast on Spotify. So if you're not listening to it, wherever you're listening to it, just know that you can listen to it everywhere else, on Spotify, on Amazon Music. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook. And you can download it wherever podcasts are available. And the best thing that you could do to help us out would be to share the podcast. Find a clip that you like on YouTube or on Facebook and share it with somebody that you know, something that they might like. Share the channel with them. And also leave us a review on iTunes. If you search the podcast on iTunes and leave us a review, that definitely helps out. That's probably the biggest boost for the podcast is those comments on iTunes. Also on YouTube, I think we're getting pretty close to, I think, like 300 subscribers after 3 years. So make sure you guys share the YouTube channel with people too. And other ways that you can support the show, if you go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com, and click the support the show tab, that'll take you to our Amazon link whenever you purchase anything through that link, which we just got a check from Amazon from people purchasing stuff through the link. So thank you.
Thank you guys.
So you just put stuff in your cart, and then when you go to our website, you click on that Amazon link and check out, and that'll help us out.
There you go. You can also go to buymeacoffee.com/opposite-pod and buy us a virtual coffee or a virtual drink. And you can also subscribe on a monthly basis.
Yep. And that's at buymeacoffee.com/opposite-pod. So I was just kind of thinking, so we were just, you were saying like taking a moment to kind of like think about stuff or not reacting in the moment, right? But we were talking about Joey, and that reminded me of a book that you guys can pick up on Amazon. But it's the Mikey and the Dragons book. Not Mikey and the Dragons. It's the Way of the Warrior Kid, because they talk about like the same thing that you just said in that kid's book was like how to identify when you're getting angry, when you're getting to that point. And it is like when you're getting hot, when you're feeling like your ears getting red. And that's what one of the things they talk about. But I was just thinking, like with Joey, when you have two different types of situations, like if you have something where it's emotional, where you can feel like what you're talking about, that you're getting irritated, you're getting angry, or if it's something that's making you mad, that's when it's best to like just take a minute, take a second and just chill, see what is actually going on. And probably like you're saying, your first response may not be the best one. You might want to wait and think about it. But then there's also something else that Jocko talks about that he calls default aggressive, where for the majority of time, you just default to action, to like, let's go, let's do something. And that's like for like situations when things just start happening that are out of your control. Like your car breaks, this happens, and then something else. And it's like, you can't think about it too much. Just go and do, because it's only going to get worse if you don't. So don't think about it too much.
Right. Yeah. Because your thoughts is what creates the emotion.
You know?
So if, you're thinking, damn, the garage door broke. Damn, the pool pump just broke. Damn.
This fucking and if you sit and let's take a moment, you know, and there's like, fuck.
Let's meditate. Let's meditate. Let's get into the zone.
Right? No. In those situations, you just got to go. Yeah. What's the first thing we got to do? And get busy. And then other times you just got to sit for a second and see what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
That's good.
Count to 10.
Yeah. And man.
And this can be used on your spouse as well, not just your children.
What? You've been using tricks on me? I told you. Since the last podcast I mentioned it.
You guys, there's such a funny clip that Miguel made. He's talking about me casting spells on Miguel. It's hilarious. If you guys have not watched that clip, you guys got to watch it. Yeah. I'll have you rolling in your seat.
Send that one to somebody.
Yeah. Be like, hey, I need to introduce you to this podcast.
Yeah.
Check out this clip.
So but yeah, like we said, now we're heading into the next week and your doors are here for your office. So like it's on. Like I got to get these doors put in. Taxes are due. It's time to get ready for this fight. I've been talking to Joey about like, now that his break is over, it's time to like really focus. And I had a talk with Joey about like what it wasn't like I was kind of forcing him to do it, but I just asked him like, hey, do you want to do this with me? And I was like, plus it'll help me. And I know that it's going to be good for you. I was like, but it's not going to be easy. I was like, but I told him, I was like, I have this fight coming up and I need to get ready. I was like, my shoulder's been bugging me. I was like, but now it's starting to feel better. I was like, it's time to like really focus. I was like, and you have been doing better in jiu-jitsu. I was like, but I know that you can do better too. I was like, plus with school and everything else that we have going on, I was like, maybe let's really buckle down and like work hard for a while.
But did you get his buy-in? Like, did you hear him out?
Yes, okay. I explained everything to him. And I was also kind of telling him like, it's not easy to like focus on doing your best all the time. Like that shit's not fucking easy all the time. Like to be high performing all the fucking time.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. It actually, no, it is. It is exhausting. But it is satisfying.
But it doesn't have to be exhausting when you're doing what you want to do. Well, like the taxes, okay? It's not something that you want to do, but it's something that we have to do. But if he's in jiu-jitsu, right? Just, if he's in jiu-jitsu and he likes jiu-jitsu, it's not going to be that difficult. I mean, yeah, he's going to go through some hard, challenging days, but if he enjoys doing it, then he's going to be fine. Like you've been through some tough, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, you really appreciate it. You really love jiu-jitsu. You watch it, you research it. You are in it 100% in jiu-jitsu because you love it and it's something that you enjoy. So even when you go through these challenges, it's okay because your passion and your love for it is there.
That's not just what I'm talking about. Like it's exhausting when you're waking up early to work out.
Okay.
It's exhausting when you wake up early to work out. When you show up to work and you know that for that day you're gonna be on.
Okay.
Like I'm not fucking around today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing what I need to get done and I'm knocking it out. And then when I get done with work, I'm gonna come home and I got this, and this I need to do before I go fucking do that.
Yeah.
And then when you get done with your day and you take a shower and you lay down, you're like, holy shit, today's over. But you lay your head down like, holy fuck, like look at what I did today. Like it feels good.
Okay.
And when you do that, when your reading starts getting better, when your grades are getting better, when you're kicking people's ass at the gym, when you're seeing the fat melting off, when you're starting to see your muscles growing, when you're feeling your cardio improving, it feels good. It's exhausting, but it feels good.
Yes.
And that's what I was telling him. I'm like, look, it also doesn't feel good when you struggle with reading. It also doesn't feel good when your work is piling up because you're not getting it done. It like all that. So it takes effort and discipline to get on that roll, but it's and that's I think that you hear it like for some people like they get addicted to that shit. I guess it's a good thing to get addicted to, but it can, like with everything there's balance. But there's people that get addicted to that feeling of just like the next thing, and that they just fucking accomplishment, but then their life is consumed with just that.
Right. That's what I meant by exhausting.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm saying it's a season. And the season will get you on a certain path. You know what? Things that... Oh, what the hell was I listening to? It's like, for me, it's like, it's this tournament. But it's not even really about the tournament. It's about what's going to happen on the way to the tournament.
Yeah, it's the journey.
Like that's what it's really about. It's the things that are going to change.
Yeah.
Because of it.
It's not the destination, the end result. It's who you become on the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited. And we got a lot of work to do. But it's going to be fun. With the business. And that's the thing is that it's not just one thing. Because we have the coaching business that really is, as soon as I get done with these taxes, and the focus is on the tournament and the business. I mean, that's it. The business and the tournament. What else do we, and doing the podcast like that? I mean, the podcast is automatic, but.
Well, that's us.
But yeah, but those are the two big focuses right now.
Yeah, for us, yes. Then we have everything
well
that goes with being parents.
Well, yeah. Softball and.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's great. This is this is the next level, right? Like this is the next level for us.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. Yeah, it's exciting for what's about to unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has your business changed, like the view of your business, since you've come back from India?
It has, in the way that right now I feel like I'm in the process, like there's so much. Okay, so yes, I'm going to answer this real quick. Yes. So it has, because I recognized my potential. I recognized my gifts. Even though I would talk about them before, like being able to connect with people and just being there for them, helping them to recognize how amazing they are, being able to connect, to help them connect to their greatness.
Yeah.
Like, we all have the ability to live such a fulfilling life. Like, everything that you've ever wanted just needs to be unlocked. And it's helping people, teaching them how to unlock it. Because once it's unlocked, then they're free. They're free to do the thing that their heart desires. You know, having that inner peace, that inner joy, and that deep connection to self, the unconditional love that we all want is just waiting to be unlocked. And sometimes there's so much shit that's covering it that we've been through. So much hurt, so much trauma, so much noise that's covering it up, that some of us just need someone to direct us on how to unlock it.
Yeah.
And then once you learn how to unlock it, you teach somebody else how to unlock it. And I just see less suffering. That's what I see. I see less suffering in the world because I am so connected to some amazing coaches that know how to unlock it, who have helped teach me to unlock it. And I feel that that's what we're here to do, is to teach everyone how to unlock it.
How do you teach somebody? I was just having a thought, a funny thought, but like you're saying these things, but then I'm kind of thinking also about, there's people that the way they grow up, their life is just so hard, like that from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like survive.
Yeah.
And it's hard to even like those moments of clarity, it's hard to even have them when you're just surviving all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like how I have an idea of something that might help somebody with like having a moment, right? But what do you think?
It's helping them to break free from all the shit. It's helping them to recognize that they have it within to let it go. They don't have to keep holding on to this past that is causing them hurt today. Yeah. It's the past, but it's helping them to see it. They have to be willing to relive it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to be willing to let it go. Like, are you done suffering? Are you done with this? Some people are not ready. Some people I have called and offered a gifting session and they said, I am not ready to let go. And I am so grateful for that. I am so grateful that they know that they're not ready to face what they've lived, because you have to retell the story. You have to, And when you retell the story, you're reliving the thing that you shoved down so deep that some of us don't even remember it. I'm speaking from experience. But in order to let that go, you have to take yourself back there.
Yeah.
Because the only way I'm going to help them to recognize whatever it is that they need to recognize, they have to relive the story by sharing the story with me.
Yeah. And I think when you've been stuck in like that survival mode, we've talked about this, where you have to have those moments, right? Those moments that wake you up, like a moment of clarity, to like almost kind of like what we were talking about before. It's like a moment to like, instead of just like the emotional reaction or right back into survival mode, is to take a moment and like see things for like the world. It's like, holy shit, the world is way bigger than these things that have happened to me, you know, and that you can actually change everything.
I am way bigger than these things that have happened to me.
And those moments, like we said, those moments of clarity or whatever, like they come after like the nature, like we were talking about the power of now, right? We got the chance to have some of those moments out here in this past weekend in nature, right?
Yes.
But what I was laughing at earlier was I was watching and I think that nature stuff, it works on everybody. It's not just like if you're a hippie or some shit like that, because I was watching this documentary on Netflix, and I told you about it, about Biggie Smalls, or about, you know, Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. And it's got a clip in there of him and his crew or whatever, like they're going on tour, and they got a camera, and they're like in Colorado or something doing a show, and they're in the hotel, and his friend's got the video camera, and he's pointing it out the window, and they're from like the hood in New York, and he's like, yo son, look at this shit, son, that's what I'm talking about. And it's like the sun is going down behind the mountains, you know, like they've never seen something like that from New York City. He's like, that's what I'm talking about, son, that's it right there, you know. But it's like seeing stuff like that, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, like it'll give you that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing that gives you that moment that I've been wanting to share this because it's really special. And it comes from Joey. There's these times when he laughs that you stop thinking about everything. If it's like when a baby smiles. It's when you look at a baby and they smile at you. You stop thinking about everything.
Yeah.
But I have that moment with Joey. Like something will happen, and it gets to the point now where I'll try to say something because I want to hear him laugh.
Yeah.
You know? But it's so innocent and pure.
It's a giggle. It's that giggle. It's a giggle, right? Like it's that just innocent pureness of what a child holds. It's that laugh. It's that belly laugh. And it's so pure, and it comes from such a beautiful place.
Yeah. I've told him that I love his laugh.
Yeah. And we tend to lose that as adults. We tend to lose that.
Because you worry about who's watching you laugh.
Right. And it's that in itself is something that is so important not to lose. It's finding that child within that will go outside when it's raining, play in the rain, jump in the puddles, play games with your children as we were yesterday, and having some great laughs with them. And Joey telling me, Mom, it's okay, Mom.
Yeah.
It's okay, Mom. Good job, Mom.
Yeah.
You know, it's having those moments with them when we're in the kitchen and a song comes on and Audrey comes up to me and starts dancing with me, or dancing with you,
or dancing with Joey.
Like those are the moments.
That just happened the other day.
Yes.
Dude, I got a video of that. That was one of those moments.
But those are the moments when you're in the car and a song starts to play and you're at a stoplight and you don't care and you just start singing from the top of your lungs and dancing, and the cars next to you are laughing, feeling your joy.
You remember that I think you were at a coaching event, and I was taking Audrey to her softball practice. I had to come back and give Jane medicine. I had dropped Audrey off at the softball tournament, and I was coming back to give Jane medicine. And it was just me and Joey driving back to the house. And I freaking cranked the music up. And we were listening to his stuff. And he's got some corny stuff that he likes to listen to. But I had that shit turned all the way up. And you know him. He's like sitting in his seat. Yeah. And I'm like fucking losing it in my seat, dancing and singing. Yeah. And I'm like, come on, dude. And I'm like grabbing him, trying to shake him,
That there is something that needs to be done more often with him, because he takes himself so serious.
Yeah.
So serious.
I got to think about that, because I think I did too.
Yeah.
As a kid. That's why I didn't really like dancing. You know?
Share
and
that
now now I wish I fucking, like I tell you.
Yeah.
Like with my dad, as good as of a dancer as he was, and being Hispanic in New York, like the kids, Puerto Rican kids, Colombian kids, Dominican, they're fucking fucking dancing everywhere they fucking go. And now that I'm older, it's like, fuck, man. Like I wish, but that's all the being uptight and taking yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
Well,
I think you made the decision to become a dancer when you did at the perfect timing, because it led you to me. Because if you didn't dance, no.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about this on a different episode, but once you hit puberty and you start finding out what girls are, you're like, you know what? If I need to fucking dance, I'm going to dance.
And with that,
thank you guys for listening. Thanks for being with us.
Yes. Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract podcast.
Where we get better
together.
Bye.